There was a hair in my coffee.
All right.
Welcome back to another episode of the Supernaturals. This is our Thanksgiving special.
I was going to say, it's not just any episode.
It's true. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, we're kind of in a limbo right now where this isn't season 1, but it's not season 2.
True.
So we're just going to give you guys, we wanted to just celebrate the holidays with you guys.
Celebrate the holidays and give you a little bit of content as you await for season 2.
Yeah, we know you guys miss us and we miss you.
That we do.
So
that we do.
Yeah, we're here now. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you're watching this episode instead of listening to it, you can see we went Jesus, hello. We went really cool, like hard on the setup here.
It's true. It's very festive.
Got some leaf lights.
Very festive.
Which, by the way, these are kind of cool. This is not a sponsorship.
Highly recommend.
This is not a sponsorship, but these are on Amazon and they're kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're little leaves.
They were relatively cheap.
Well, it was $12 for 2.
Yeah,
it's like $12 for 2. They're pretty short, but I mean
they are short. And it takes 3 AA batteries to power them.
3. Also, the battery pack for them, it's pretty cheap. I broke it on the first try, so that's cool. But hey, you know what? It works. This little guy right here was like $20. Pretty cool. Little turkey. He lights up, and I don't know if you guys can see that. Can they see that? Can they see the little look right? Oh, we don't even have it lit up.
I didn't even know he turned on.
Yeah, dude, he turns on. Here, wait, look, check this shit out, guys. Look. Whoa, look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought I turned everything on, damn. No. I guess not.
It's all good.
I'm surprised you didn't see it when you walked in the room.
No, I forgot. But yeah, so that's
at least
cool.
We have our sign on this
We
time.
do have the sign on this time. Yes. If you guys, we haven't had anybody reach out to us yet. But there was one episode, I think it was the Nautical Monsters one. And we didn't have the sign lit up, which was kind of wild. So pretty funny.
Never again.
Yeah. So, well, it's been a month, or about a month. Hope you guys have been good. Mm-hmm. We haven't. Our football teams suck.
Florida team
still single as all hell. Just working away on season 2 for you guys.
Make our lives sound so sad. I'm sitting here listening to you explain. I'm like, damn. We really don't do anything. No, we're grinding. That's what we're doing. We're working hard for you.
Yes, been busting our asses on season 2 for you guys. Actually going on our first trip. If you follow our socials, we'll tease trips as we go on them.
It's coming up soon, actually.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks since the season 2 debut episode will be done and recorded.
But not for you guys.
You don't get it till April.
Yeah, so that's the unfortunate thing. But we're trying to have every episode done by the time season 2 rolls around. So then during that time, we can start,
engaging more with you guys along the way.
Yeah. Oh, follow our TikTok. That's a big thing I want to talk about because on our TikTok, we're doing a new thing. You probably have already seen it if you do follow our TikTok because, I think we're starting it this week or next week or something.
Movie Mondays. Just kidding.
It's Flick Fridays. So Flick Fridays is essentially, I think we're going to do a minute, but we're going to we're going to review a couple horror movies. It'll be one movie per Friday. They're going to run throughout the entire year, 52 weeks.
A lot of movies you can watch.
And there'll be some mainstream ones. You guys probably have already seen some, but I think it's a good way of, we really like to share our thoughts on movies. And even though these movies have already been out and things like that, we find movies like,
we love critiquing them too.
Yeah.
In a good and bad way.
But how about all the movies that we just randomly find, like the Poughkeepsie tapes and things like that, or Lake Mungo and things like that. Where
those little gems along the way.
Yeah.
We do find bad ones.
Absolutely. And those will 100% be on the Flick Fridays. Believe me, I threw some bad ones on there, but it'll be fun. So if you guys want to know more about our thoughts on movies and things like that and give your thoughts, then follow us on TikTok.
Be a caution, be warned, this movie isn't very good, but if you want to watch it,
exactly.
then go for it. Well, you know what? It's festive season. Halloween passed, and now we're celebrating Thanksgiving. Even though we're listening to Christmas music now.
Yeah, I'm bumping that.
I know you have been
bumping that.
Yeah. But dude, Thanksgiving is such a great time. You know, you get to see friends and family.
For you.
You still are a part of our family. You get to come. You get to come to our Thanksgiving.
Basically, for me, Mom and Dad, I love you guys. I'm just saying, you know that ever since
Cal's parents ditch him on every holiday.
Ever since college, my freshman year, we made playoffs, and that took place during Thanksgiving. So I wasn't able to come home for that. And so for 5 years, I think in college, and then the years after that, you know, because they all moved out to California, I haven't really been able to spend Thanksgiving with my family. And then this year, basically the last 3 years, I think it's been, I've spent Thanksgiving with them, and
just them.
The Thompsons. Thank you guys for letting me come over. That's really sick. This year it'll be fun. So this year I'm working like overnights and stuff to make extra money. So I can't afford these trips that we're going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
The pot is a grind, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure is.
but it's fun, and it's something that we want to do for a really long time. So
it's true. Getting back, you know, to the main point, like you're spending it with family, your friends, your loved ones, anyone that you feel is important in your life, and you get to feast, man. You get to chow down on some delicious food.
So would you say that's your favorite part of Thanksgiving? What is your favorite part of Thanksgiving?
My favorite part is football on Thanksgiving. Me too. As we're big football fans, as you probably know, right? We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Florida teams. But it's so fun to just sit back, relax, grab a drink, have football all day.
Yep.
Regardless of if your team's playing or not, right?
So that's the thing.
You're lucky this year. Your team is playing, but that's
I'm
because
you're
playing the teams that always play Thanksgiving, really.
Yeah, Green Bay.
Well,
not really Green Bay.
No, it's usually Detroit and Dallas.
Yeah. Well, it's always Detroit and Dallas.
And then the big time game, whatever that may be.
Which is
you're lucky.
The one thing is, for all of our listeners who are listening after Thanksgiving, like after this episode comes out, after Thanksgiving.
Aren't we releasing it the day before?
Wednesday of Thanksgiving? But there's people still listening to our Halloween special right now.
That's true.
So if people are listening to our Thanksgiving special, if you guys are listening and it's past Thanksgiving and you know the results of the Dolphins-Packers game, well, just know that I'm either really happy or really sad. So there you go.
It is coming up. Yeah, no, I think that is definitely my favorite part. Like, food is a close second.
Yeah.
But man, do I love watching football.
So I got to be honest. I really actually, this is the hot take. And it'd be crazy to, like, this is going to sound wild considering I used to play offensive line and all this kind of stuff. I actually think food is my least favorite part of Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah. I honestly, because I don't eat. I used to have to eat a lot to keep on the lineman weight.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I don't, I mean, the last couple of years I've been out of college, I have literally gone up, gotten one plate, and then I'm done. I can't eat more than that.
Fair enough. I love piling
I get it.
2 feet high pile of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, no, believe me, I get it, dude. I'm just saying, I don't know. It's changed. So I think the turkey bowl that we do is probably my main highlight. And then it's the football during the day. It's the drinking. It's the
oh yeah. For you guys that don't know, we always play football the morning of Thanksgiving. You know how families do turkey trots and all that jazz, whatever. Our family does football. We play flag football.
Yeah,
with
we get
friends.
a bunch of people from ages. I mean, what's the youngest? Probably
20.
20.
Yeah,
all the way to 50.
Maybe even close to 60 now.
Exactly. Yeah,
but that's like our little ritual we do every Thursday morning.
Yep.
We'll wake up. It's freaking cold as hell.
Who cares? It's fun.
You get a little hand warmers, you get some gloves, and you get some friends, and you go play flag football, and it's a blast. Sometimes we drink champagne after if we're not celebrating it with some of our other friends.
Yeah.
As they, have families as well. But
it's fun,
it's a little fun ritual we do. And then we go home, family cooks, and we watch football and hang out the rest of the day.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun. What do you think of Black Friday though? Have you ever done Black Friday?
I have.
Okay.
I used to actually kind of enjoy it because I liked buying, gifts on sale. I kind of liked the chaos because at least in Parker, it wasn't never really that bad. In Elizabeth, back in the day when I lived there, it wasn't bad at all. There was not that many people. Dude, do you know how many developments there are now?
Oh, I know. I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware.
Like, there's so many people in that town.
Yeah, Elizabeth is not the same town
that we grew up. Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
I did Black Friday once. Otherwise, I just did it online
with people, with girlfriend, your family.
I did it with my ex, my first ex, and it was fun because we did Thanksgiving.
It is fun.
We did Thanksgiving. Like I did Thanksgiving with my family, and she did Thanksgiving with hers. And then I was like, "Yo, low key." I don't know why I was super into like Alien versus Predator, and like Alien and Predator movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Maybe it was just like during the time, it was just something I was into. Whatever. I mean, I still love those movies a lot. But for some reason, I was like, I wanted to go buy some movie collections. And that was one of them. I was like, maybe I was talking about it with my family and they were like, oh, we missed watching the old Alien or something. And then
back when DVDs were huge,
something like that, man. I don't know. But regardless, I wanted to get these movie collections. And so I told her and I was like, hey, let's go to Best Buy tonight. Let's do Black Friday. Like, let's do it. And sure enough, we go, I pick her up. And dude, the roads were crazy busy. It's like you would imagine, okay, Thanksgiving, right? Like people aren't going to be on the road. Hell no, everybody's on the damn road. So we get in there and I don't know, dude. It was a wild thing. But I got my collection. I got the Alien thing that we watched our movies or whatever.
Those were really cool.
Yeah, I got that there. I have a Predator one and then I got the AVP. But so I think I lost that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I've done it. Other people do it.
Yeah.
You're about to do it. What do you think about people working Black Friday and on Thanksgiving? Because there's the side that says you should spend time with your family and not be open and the store should be closed.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side where a store is a business and it's a time to make money.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I'm curious. Because you're about to work Black Friday.
Well, I'm working Thanksgiving night. Yeah,
you're still Black working Friday, there,
but
right?
The store is closed. I work 10 to 7.
It is
that night.
But you have worked it open before, haven't you?
The Friday day, yes.
Yeah.
I've also worked Christmas Eve, and that was the worst experience I've ever had. I was like cussing at customers and shit. I'm not even kidding.
Bro, some people feel entitled to things, though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, dude, the whole parking lot's full. I'm taking orders in and out, and all of a sudden, this lady, she's like, hey, where's my damn order? I'm like, you see the fucking parking lot? I'm like, wait. Yeah.
It is crazy that people feel so entitled to get all over you, and it's like, hey, I'm freaking working during your passing time. Let me be, you know?
Well, I think another thing, too, working retail, it's shown. I mean, it's actually, you know what? I hate the job and I can't wait to be done, but I got to be real. It's like it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about how to deal with people, especially people like that.
Oh, for sure.
And I think a lot of people see when you have like, the vest on or the uniform on or whatever, and they think, oh, I can mess with this person. It's like, it doesn't matter. Cause like, okay, when we go out, this is gonna sound douchey, but nobody ever really messes with me. Right? Like nobody ever says shit. Nobody ever does anything. They walk past me. It's whatever. I've seen people get mad at Josh. I've seen people get mad at Ray. I've seen people get mad. You know what I mean? But no, it's never me. And so
Except for that one girl.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Continue.
That wasn't even me, dude. She was boxing everybody else. Anyways.
We're talking about two completely different people.
I was talking about the girl at Mile High.
That got on the table.
Yeah.
I was talking about the girl that told you to leave because you were trying to get me to stand up.
That's not really like, Yeah. Anyway,
moving on.
It's not the same thing, but yeah. So I what the fuck? Oh, damn it, dude. Caught me off guard. What the hell was I saying? Yeah. So it's funny though, when you're in the uniform and they think, oh yeah, I can talk to this person the way I want to talk to them. And if you go, oh, I'm sorry, like customer's always right. Or if you go like you snap back,
they're not ready for that.
They're not ready for that. They're not ready. They immediately are like, oh, like, oh shit. Okay. And I think that's so funny. I don't know. I do that when I do get that.
Mm-hmm. I've worked a couple Black Fridays. I've worked Christmas Eve because, you know, I used to work retail back in the day too. And I worked the line where people would come pick up their big items. Like they would buy it, that they would give them like the receipt and they'd drive around the store to come pick up like their TVs, their giant freaking cars for their children, you know, those little electronic cars and stuff. And dude, the amount of people that were so like nice.
Yeah.
And mean at the same time.
The passive aggressive? Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were honking in the line and you're like, oh my God, these people need to chill.
Yeah.
The amount of tips people tried to give me was crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't accept them, but somehow they ended up in my pocket.
Thank you for saying it. I wasn't going to say it.
I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, I don't care. I do. Only for a little bit longer.
You don't take the tips, but they end up in your pockets somehow.
Yeah, I don't take them at all.
You know what I mean? But like, it did really help me though, dealing with almost every type of person.
Yeah.
You could ever imagine.
Dude. Yeah.
Because every type of person comes into a Walmart. Let's be real.
Yeah. It's wild for sure. So one thing I do want to talk about, because, you know, I mean, we're talking about our lives and Thanksgiving and stuff. And yeah, it's so fun. Well, Thanksgiving can be a little spooky too.
It can. Can it?
Well, I mean, somebody sure tried.
True.
His name is Eli Roth.
Yes.
And he wrote and directed Thanksgiving.
Sure did.
So, yeah, that movie, holiday horror, to me is such it's an interesting genre. It's very hit or miss. I do think that playing with the idea that these joyful and peaceful times and things like that people really do look forward to. I mean, I sure do. It's my favorite time of the year. I love the Christmas lights and all that kind of stuff. Christmas tree being up, whatever. Christmas music, all that shit. I think the idea of somebody like messing with that, it is something that I'm kind of like, you have to do it right. Otherwise I'm not going to enjoy it. I don't know. How do you feel about holiday horror? Do you think the same thing or do you just not like care?
I am in agreement that it's hit or miss.
We're not talking about like Halloween, by the way, because Halloween technically is holiday horror, but I mean, Halloween is a horror holiday. So I'm talking about the other,
like
holidays.
making a holiday horror.
Yeah.
Because
Thanksgiving, Silent Night, all that stuff. Yeah.
Even the newest
Terrifier.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I kind of enjoyed though.
Kind of. I fucking love that movie.
No, I'm not talking about the movie itself. I'm talking about the holiday aspect of it.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. But they did it right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's true. The way they bring in him with Santa Claus was hilarious. It was good comedy.
Absolutely.
It was honestly a great killing scene too.
Yeah. Yeah, they brought in a couple of the horror legends, you know, and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
It has to be done right. You're completely right. And where I think Thanksgiving, it was good. Mm-hmm. It was well done, but it's one of those movies that is just too predictable for me.
Yeah.
That I could get past it being on Thanksgiving because that kind of hasn't been done really at all.
No, I thought it was.
And it was a unique idea, but it just, I don't know, it left me unsatisfied.
Yeah. I think the idea, I thought that was probably the best way you could do a Thanksgiving like horror movie, because it was like, oh, Black Friday, right? We've seen videos of people like getting trampled and shit. So
they did take it to another level.
Yeah, but like to make that kind of like this big accident that the you know, the city or the town or whatever felt, and then like the killer is going after the people who were like a part of that. Sorry, or whatever, something like that. I mean, I don't know, but
I don't know. I feel like
the kills were sick.
The kills were good.
The kills were sick.
I wish I wanted a little bit better storyline.
Yeah, but like, again, what else would you do?
You know, I don't know.
I mean, I guess we'll find out because there's going to be a sequel.
Is there actually?
Yeah, dude, he's writing and directing right now.
Well, interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't really get a storyline. You know, Terrifier has a storyline.
Yeah.
And it's very good. You really feel for these characters. You start developing
really one.
Sure, but like her being the main character, like you get attached to her because they wrote it that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that same feeling with Thanksgiving.
The main girl.
Right.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You knew this, but the entire time I was looking at the main girl, I'm like, you look like my ex-girlfriend. She did, dude.
And I'm not saying like Addison is a bad actor.
Oh my God, I forgot she was in that.
I'm not saying she's a bad actor or anything, but like I've really never seen her in anything.
Yeah.
So it threw me off.
Yeah.
Big time.
No, I get that.
She wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
But like,
you know what though?
She wasn't like grabbing me and going, like my character.
So that's the thing. So she wasn't the main girl, right? Mm-hmm. So she didn't really have as much of a chance as what I'm about to say. But I thought the same thing about Sydney Sweeney in Immaculate. I literally, as the first second, like she's, because the stuff I've seen her in, she's just like this, like Beverly Hills, like girl kind of, and then you see like she comes in there, she's doing her nun stuff. And then I don't know, I was kind of sitting there and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to buy her as being like a nun. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of kept going and the story kept going. And then her acting started getting like, it started growing throughout the movie. And then honestly, that last fucking scene, I wanted to just get up and like applaud. That was so sick.
I agree.
So I get with what you're saying about Addison Rae. Yeah.
But maybe in a more main role, she could shine better than what she showed in that movie.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is it was centered around teenagers.
Sure. Which I got. That made sense.
But they felt super, and this is no offense to our Gen Z audience out there, but they felt super Gen Z, and I can't really relate to that. Yeah. Now, who did a great job of that was Scream. The new Scream movies, 5 and 6, they had teenagers, but they made it to where you cared about those teenagers.
Right.
I was talking about,
that's what I'm saying with episode 2. Modern slashers like that. Yeah. Like I feel like you need to care about them a little bit. You can obviously have your douche, but that's where Thanksgiving was lacking, is because you didn't feel that. Yeah.
And I think that's what Jackson in Scream, right? I said it on the pod too. When he got stabbed in Scream 6, I literally was like, oh, come on, dude. No way. That fucking sucks. But he was like he was written as like the dumb jock, like the hero jock who's like, I'm going to stop him. And then, but it's like you started to, I don't know. It's a chemistry thing. I don't know, dude.
I also feel like it's just the selection of actors too, and how it was wrote, right?
Yeah.
Because Scream was written insanely well. The characters are just top notch.
Oh yeah, dude. And
it
sucks we won't see Melissa and Jenna in Scream 7, but whatever.
And I'm not discrediting Eli at all. I just think if you give a little more like character development there, you could have a banger for a movie.
I agree. But I think that's why it felt a little cheesy for me. Also, can we talk about how I called Patrick Dempsey being the killer the entire time? Oh, shit. Spoiler! It's a little late, but I talked about Patrick Dempsey being the killer the entire time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this dude's the killer. And you know why I knew he was the killer? Because he plays a bad guy in every fucking movie he's ever in.
And it's always the cop.
You remember? Yeah, that's true. You remember Transformers, the Dark of the Moon? Mm-hmm. He was in that. Mm-hmm. He was the boss. Mm-hmm. And he also was the bad guy. He was the Sam Witwicky of the Decepticons. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe it was like my childhood being like, this guy's off. I'm pretty sure he played a douche in a rom-com too. Was it 13 Going on 30? I don't know. but he played a douche in one of those, I think.
I'm unfamiliar with that one.
I might be wrong. I remember only watching the movie with my mom at like one point when I was young, but I do remember him being an ass in one of those kind of rom-com movies.
So he's like typed for that role.
Yeah. That's why when he was the cop or whatever, they're like making you like him kind of. And then you're just like,
something's off.
I think didn't his wife die during the mall thing or whatever? And you're just like,
yeah. That's why he got pissed.
Yeah.
That was like the whole reason.
Yeah. So yeah, she was, I think, wasn't she the one who got like her hair stuck in the cart or something? And
yeah, that was a crazy kill.
The best kill in that whole thing was the knife and the trampoline.
I will say though.
You remember that?
No.
It was the girl. She was doing the trampoline. It was like the tryout or like the cheerleading thing. And like the rest of her teammates like ran away. So then she's just on the trampoline, like doing these little like dives and shit. And he just sticks the knife through the trampoline. So she falls and it like cuts her and she can't get off. And she just keeps getting stabbed.
I honestly don't remember that at all.
Oh, dude, that was a crazy kill. Yeah, that one was a good one.
I will say though, that movie was shot really well. Like the cinematography I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
It made up for a lot of like the cheesiness of the movie.
The dialogue wasn't the best either.
Right.
You remember the lady getting cooked in the...
Yeah. So that was a crazy kill.
One. Well, that was crazy because she fuck. I'm losing it today.
If you remember that, let's come back to it. But I have something to say is the movie's cheesy, but I think we also have to remember that these types of movies are kind of cheesy. You think back to like some of this 80s, 90s slashers.
Well, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
They're cheesy.
Well, I love cheesy movies. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's one aspect of this movie we kind of have to applaud is it kind of had that direction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it just didn't live up to it.
I think
because even there you still kind of like some of the characters.
Yeah, but I think it's like, dude, I think that I love cheesy slashers. I do. I love them.
Well, because usually the kills are just crazy.
Exactly. and Thanksgiving did have that. So I'm cool with that. But I do think that you need at least one really likable character. Like Terrifier.
They carry the story. They do.
I mean, I'll be real. Terrifier to me wasn't cheesy. I
the first one?
No, well, no, not the first one. The second and the third.
Oh, no.
Like, and I'm really talking about the third one. Like, I really think
it was not cheesy. It was well done.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I know they talk about, oh, like the kills don't look real and stuff. I'm like, bro, it's practical effects, which you have to appreciate. You have to appreciate because the fact that they just keep getting better with each movie is awesome to me. I mean, there were certain kills in the third one where it blurred the line of, this is real.
Very true. There were times I was thinking, I don't know if that's real.
You're like, what is that exactly?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think with Thanksgiving, you do need like one character that really stands out, kind of like a Sienna or a Jenna Ortega and what are they? The Carpenter sisters or whatever.
Yep.
In Scream. And Thanksgiving didn't have that. I know they tried with the main girl. Maybe it was just, maybe I'm biased because I just see my ex at that, in that girl, but I don't know, whatever. That's just my stance.
Kind of let us know what you think about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you think is
she a standout main character or is she just kind of hidden in the weeds and they could have done better writing her story?
Yeah.
So kind of what I want to leave up to the audience to see, but start a discussion there.
Well, regardless of whatever you think of Thanksgiving, it is a movie that you can watch right now. It's a movie that you can watch for the holidays if you want to watch a spooky movie and you haven't seen it yet.
Not sure if it's streaming.
I don't know, dude.
You can buy it on the Fandango. I think is now what it's called.
Yeah, it's not Voodoo anymore. Damn.
Fandango.
I'm always gonna call it Voodoo.
Oh, dude, me too. Me too.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's that. Obviously, there will be more to that story. Apparently, it did well at the box office enough to warrant a sequel. So we're gonna get a sequel, I think, next year. So that'll be cool.
That was a pretty scary thing that happened around the holiday, but apparently there was quite a few more that happened.
Like actual shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened around this holiday as well.
Yes.
We can jump right in.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we're gonna look at the true crime side of Thanksgiving. So
true crime music.
Sit back, relax.
I don't know what true crime music is, but
grab your leftovers, turn on the football game, and listen to us as we talk about some scary shit that happened on Thanksgiving. Just give me a good idea. Thanksgiving ASMR edition. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Thanksgiving. Munching on a. Do you guys get those ASMR tingles from that? Hope so.
Dude, you know how actually crazy it is that people kind of like that?
I don't get it. I've actually tried. I'm like,
I
is
don't
it
get
another
it either, but
thing
like,
of therapy?
dude, people do like it.
I get it. I think it's the same thing as, what do they call it?
It's like almost like a
mukbang?
soothing voice, though.
You seen them like the mukbang thing?
Yeah.
It's like people chewing on food. It's apparently like, to me, it's disgusting. To me, if I hear like a or whatever, I'm just like, ew, bro. Ew.
I'm pretty sure like Joel Volpez from the Vlog Squad, like David Dobrik's friends, he does mukbangs.
I don't know who that is, but
but he does them, or
right.
at least did them.
Fair enough. Yeah, I used to be super in tune with like the YouTube drama and stuff with like PewDiePie and Logan Paul and all that. And then
kind of faded.
I'm so out of tune with everything. It's crazy. Life happens, right? Anyway.
Sure does. Sure does.
So here's story 1 of the Supernaturals Thanksgiving special. In 1985, the Blunt family was coming back from an outing for the holiday. They lived in Lake Worth, Texas, and didn't have too much money. They resided in a mobile home, and when they came home, they found a leather briefcase on their front porch. Their 15-year-old daughter, Angela, decided to open the briefcase and see what was inside. Unfortunately, inside the briefcase was a bomb, and it actually exploded as the case was opened, killing Angela and the rest of her family. Wild. Now, nobody really had any idea who did it until a man by the name of Michael Toney was convicted of the bombing a whopping 10 years later. Toney went to trial and was sentenced to prison. However, he was eventually let go, as it was discovered that the prosecution failed to share information and evidence that contradicted parts of their case. Toney went free. With nobody having any idea who killed the Blunt family, the theory has gone so far as to say that the Blunts weren't even the intended targets of the bombing, and that it was actually one of their neighbors. Regardless, it is a shocking and sad Thanksgiving story.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is wild that this guy gets prosecuted and then is just released based off of evidence that wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Personally.
Do you think it was Toney? No.
I think that the prosecution they had to pin it on somebody.
And so
he was probably the likeliest one.
Of their suspect list.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So they probably just said, we're going to, like, because they had evidence, but it contradicted their entire argument. And they knew that if they said the evidence, then withholding.
You have to have evidence on the correct thing.
So withholding evidence shows me that they knew that it was going to destroy their case, and that I think it was that somebody else in that trailer park was the other target, and they just accidentally gave it to the Blunt family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. That's really unfortunate for that family, though. Like, just a briefcase.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If I saw a briefcase, I'd open it.
Well, heck yeah.
Yeah. I want to know what's in there. If it's just chilling on my porch, I'm like, hey.
And it is kind of weird, though.
Yeah, but I'd still open it. Would you not?
No, I would.
Yeah. Like if somebody left a bag, I would open the bag.
Yeah,
like if
just like a bag. Yeah, I'd be like kind of curious what's in here.
Now, if it was like a box and it was somebody else's, like it had a different name on it, then I wouldn't open it. Right. But if it was just a random briefcase or a random bag or something like that left on my porch, yeah, I'm opening it.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially around the holidays, it could be a present.
Yeah, you have no idea. Never know. You have no idea.
Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. Like, Grandma, did you leave me something on the porch?
Grandma, did you leave me something? Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's quite unfortunate. And what a unfortunate Thanksgiving day.
Yeah. So I got another one here. This one was pretty wild. Story 2. It was Thanksgiving Day in 1997. The people of Eureka, California were enjoying their holiday. Teenaged Karen Marie Mitchell was off for Thanksgiving break. She had just left her job and made a few stops on the way home. The first being a shoe store, which was owned by her aunt and legal guardian, Annie Casper. Karen left the store and started making her way home to get ready for Thanksgiving dinner. But sadly, she never made it home. A witness claims that he saw Karen get into a blue sedan, which was driven by a middle-aged white male. Unfortunately, this man was never identified, and Karen's disappearance still remains a mystery. As for who was driving the car, it was narrowed down to 2 high-profile men. The first being Wayne Adam Ford, who was convicted of quite a few murders. And although he matched the description of the man who was driving the car, Ford admitted to all of his murders, but he denied any involvement with the disappearance of Karen. Another murderer was linked to the case, one Robert Durst, who was seen several times in the same mall where the shoe store was located. He was also in Eureka, California the day of the disappearance. However, police could not definitively pin it on him, leaving Karen's fate unsolved.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild that the dude said he did all the other things, but claimed not to be a part of that.
I got to be real.
Why would he hide it if he did it?
I don't think think he did.
I know. That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. I think he was totally telling the truth there.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting thing when a serial killer or murderer or whoever, they admit to everything that they've done.
And we've talked about that before.
Yeah. And I think that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Because while it is, dude's a bastard for doing what he did, at least we get to know, if they come clean, then all of these unsolved cases get solved. And it sucks. It's sad, but I'd rather know what happened to, let's say my kid,
sure,
God forbid,
or anyone you know,
or anybody I know,
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
I would like to know.
You get closure.
What happened exactly. And then I can actually put the anger towards somebody as opposed to just not knowing what's going on. And then you're constantly wondering and thinking and all that. And it's if you know, at least it's it's closure.
Oh, completely. When we talked about Jeffrey Dahmer and how he came clean and admitted to people, even bodies they couldn't identify.
Yeah.
Those families, they got closure.
Yeah. It sucks, but
it does suck. Yeah. But at least they got something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tragedy to all those families, but at least you get closure and you don't have to think about it and it drive you crazy.
Yeah.
You at least can hate the guy forever. Or however you deal with it. You may forgive him, whatever the case may be.
No.
Some people might. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying some people.
I know. I don't think, honestly, no.
I know people have forgiven their daughters or sons or families killer.
I could maybe see that if it was a crime of passion to where somebody's, I don't know, fighting for food and then they they have to feed their own family
for sexual pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. If it's a Dahmer, no. I'm one of those dads who jumps over the. Have you seen those where they jump over the jury the thing and they just start beating the shit out of the dude? Yeah, I'd be one of those guys. Except that bailiff's not pulling me out.
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Getting on site.
And the other guy though, the other guy of this story.
Yeah, so that sucks when it's you have somebody who gives too much, he says everything, and then you have somebody who doesn't have, he doesn't give enough, right? You can't.
And then you're sitting there
Well, I think, unfortunately, that's one of those situations where if you're a police officer, you're probably sitting there and you're just that fucker did it.
Yeah. You know it too.
Yeah, and you're just I can't, but we can't pin it on him,
right.
So that sucks.
Because you don't have enough on it.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. But you're
being that case officer's gotta suck, dude.
Oh, I'd be sick to my stomach, bro. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's not a job for me.
Yeah, I'd be sick to my stomach not being able to actually like get the guy.
God,
you know it's him.
You know, like a family is like contacting you constantly, and you just have to be like, I am so sorry.
Well, a good movie that captures that is Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah, when he's in the car and he's like, when he's at the liquor store or whatever, and then he comes back, and Jake Gyllenhaal, he's the detective, and he's in there, and Hugh Jackman gets in, and he's just like, "You're supposed to be looking after my daughter." Like that whole scene where he's just like, why are you watching me when he's still out there? Like, and it's true. It's like, bro, I don't know. Yeah, if you haven't seen Prisoners. Gas movie.
Cal actually recommended it to me
earlier
this year, and wow, I was blown away. I couldn't believe I didn't see it because I freaking love Hugh Jackman, from his X-Men roles to one of my favorite movies he's in, The Greatest Showman, mostly because I like musicals. But
I don't,
dude. I do. I freaking love it.
Okay, yeah. No. I you know what? I'm gonna say I get it because.
There's things you like. There's things I don't like.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I get it.
Like his acting in that movie is just so good.
Is it weird that I think that it's more believable that the Avengers would happen than everybody in the vicinity break out into song in an extremely choreographed dance? I really think I could rather believe Thanos would come down here looking for the Infinity Stones rather than Hugh Jackman breaking out and there's like 50 people doing the same dance behind him and shit. I can't.
I get that.
Where'd the music come from?
However, this movie's a little different. There are some scenes where that happens, no doubt. But most of the songs and choreography are in when he's like performing at the circus. So it kind of makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, right? I'll give you that one.
There are a couple scenes where you're like, why the fuck are they singing?
Yeah. Well,
but that's just musicals.
So one movie, it sucks because I still haven't seen La La Land. And I've heard it's
actually pretty good.
That's what I've heard. It's fantastic. And I'm a sucker for like love movies and like romance movies. And I heard
it's got two phenomenal actors.
I love them, but it's like I just can't literally sit there and click on it and just go, all right, I'm going to watch this musical.
I think you need a girlfriend to do that.
Probably, dude.
She'll be like, Cal, watch this.
Ladies, hit me up so I can watch La La Land. All right, yeah.
All right.
You got one for me?
I do. 2009, Portland, Oregon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everyone was enjoying their Thanksgiving holiday, but unfortunately, attorney Nancy Bergeson, wow, I messed up her name. Nancy Bergeson passed away alone in her home. When her body was discovered, it was determined that her death was due to natural causes. No signs of trauma or distress were found on her body. That is, until an autopsy was given. There, it was discovered that she was actually strangled to death. The murder weapon was something soft. The theory is a scarf. And with authorities believing Nancy died due to natural causes, crucial evidence was most likely overlooked and has since been destroyed, leaving the murder of Nancy open with no closure in sight.
Damn, that sucks. That's a real bummer on that one. Yeah, shit.
Like strangled with a scarf?
Yeah, but yeah, they thought, it was natural causes, so they said,
Well, it's because like usually when you're strangled, like there's marks, there's like some sort of,
Well, now that's gotta suck being that police officer to be like,
I know, to
clarify, mess everything up.
Yeah.
And then
you misclarify like what the actual cause was, and then the case gets reopened, and
there could have been a boot print. There could have been like a fingerprint that you washed away or whatever. 100%. That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
The case, imagine the case gets reopened and you're the officer that closed it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And then they find new stuff. That's gotta be horrifying as that officer or the case officer that said it was over,
Jeez. Really quick side note. That light went off.
No, it's probably dead.
Probably. So we'll have to charge that, but it's fine. We have those lights.
True.
We're good.
Damn.
It's okay.
All right. Anyway.
Okay. You guys are just going to have to deal with just one light.
Just one.
Look, light and dark. Actually, I want to be on that side. If we were in Star Wars, I'd be so sick with the dark side. Don't even try me, bro. Don't know if I'd go Anakin's level where he's like, Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What's we going to do? And he just yeah, dude, that shit happens.
Yeah, I honestly thought about charging them earlier, and I was like, we haven't charged them in a while. We probably should.
Well, you can charge them after this. Yeah, it's fine, but that's okay.
Sorry, guys.
So this next one is really quite sad. Well, the other stories so far have also been really sad. I'm not saying they're not. This one is deeply unsettling, and it really shows that you have to keep your eye on your children at all times.
And we've said this before.
Yes, we have. You never know who or what is watching when you aren't paying attention, which honestly was the theme of the entire first season of our podcast.
Very true.
You don't know what people are doing.
Head on a swivel.
Head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen.
And we will keep repeating that
on a swivel.
All seasons.
Yeah, probably, dude.
We're going to go. You remember back in season 1?
Yeah.
Head on a swivel.
Well, the cool thing is season 2 will be a little different because we're kind of going into the more mystical and supernatural side of things.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah. So
still keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah. There could be ghost shit happening and you're just like, the hell? What was that? Anyway, with that, let's get into it. Thanksgiving Day, 1977. 6-year-old Linda Barr was walking to her home a short distance away from her school. She had school that day, and because her father was an officer in the town, she was able to walk home alone. Literally, like right across the street.
That's it?
That was it. And well, no, that's not the end of the story.
Well, no. I mean, like, the school not being that far, I would probably let my kid walk home too.
Especially if you're the sheriff or like the cop of the town. Yeah.
Dude, if it's like a block or two, like that's not that far.
Well,
but you know what they say?
Here's the reason why you don't do it.
You know what they say is bad things happen the closest to your house. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. So while it was Thanksgiving, Linda was at school that day for some Thanksgiving, I don't know, thing that they were doing. And while her family was preparing for the holiday festivities, the family eventually grew anxious when, hour after hour, Linda never walked through that front door. Her father eventually sprang into action, calling every available officer for a search, but sadly, Linda was never found, and there was no lead as to what happened to her until a few days later. A witness came forward and stated that they noticed Linda getting into a blue sedan driven by an older, bald male. The sedan in question was then traced back to a rental car agency, but the records showed that the car was not rented that day, which led to the theory that the man stole the car, took Linda, then returned it back to the agency without anybody noticing.
Wow.
Which the skill that you have to do for that shit.
Usually in rent-a-car places, like they got spikes so you can't take cars.
Well, now.
Well, true.
This was the 70s.
That's true.
So
I guess different time.
The case went cold for 2 years until, unfortunately, a shallow grave was found in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Linda's body was found in the grave, and she had been stabbed multiple times in the chest.
Jesus.
Nobody knows who did it, and the case is still open today.
Damn.
Yeah. So that one's sad.
How old was the Linda again?
6.
You know, it's really hard to teach your kid not to get into cars with strangers. However, like, damn, dude, I'll be damned if I don't drill that into my child's head.
Yeah.
You do not get in the car with anyone you don't know. I mean, kids know who people are.
I'm going to be real. I think that I've seen enough of this kind of stuff to where my kid, like, I'm not taking any chances.
Oh, I know.
Until they're like a teenager. That kid's not walking home.
Can't get just manhandled easily.
Well, I'm telling you, if I have a son, first of all, that kid's bench pressing 300 pounds by 12. I'm pushing that
and if
kid
Cal
in the
has
gym.
a daughter,
And if
she's
I have a daughter,
getting driven to school every day.
she's either getting driven to school every day, or I mean, if she's built like me, it's on site. She will be packing. She'll be able to, you know, like when you put the keys in and, you know, doing that shit.
Dude, anytime I got freaked out by people, key in the knuckles, always.
Yeah, well, that's what my dad taught my sisters for sure. Me, it was, who the fuck is them?
And I'm ready to always go, fight dirty if someone's attacking you.
Go for the balls. That's like a legit thing. Go for the nuts. Yeah. Grab them, twist them, rip them off. Do what you got to do to get out of there. Now, the unfortunate thing is that Linda was 6. Now, if my kid is 6 years old, they are getting driven to and from school. Or if we're right across the street, I'm walking them there before I go to work.
Right.
Hopefully I'll be doing this for work, so then I'll be able to do that.
Oh, yeah. No, completely. I totally agree. Like, the world is such a scary and crazy place, and it's so hard to trust people. Like, you just got to be on the defensive.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
So that's really sad and quite unfortunate, especially for like the dad being the sheriff, man.
I know. That's what sucks. That's not the only thing that sucks, but that does suck like a lot. Because you think
now he's just like,
yeah.
You know, it reminds me of, it's kind of a weird alignment here, but Gwen Stacy of this Across the Spider-Verse, when her dad's the sheriff and she like runs away, and different concept, but like he goes through the ringer, and
the morality of when she tells him that she's Spider-Man or whatever, Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider or whatever.
He loses his shit, and he's like, I couldn't protect like. He's like, I'm the sheriff. I know everything and all this stuff. And he couldn't do it. And I just kind of, you feel for these people because they do the most for others. And yet this bad thing happened to him and his family.
Yeah.
And it's really, really sad.
All right.
That one was sad.
You got another one for me?
I do. Alrighty. Thanksgiving is a time of peace and serenity, especially if you like to go on nature walks and look at all of the life around you. Well, that's exactly what a young woman did in the Pennsylvania wilderness. The woman's identity is unknown, but here are the facts. She spent the day with her boyfriend, then she decided to take a nice walk in the wilderness as she was an avid bird watcher. She noticed a heron in the creek nearby, and she approached the heron to get a better look. However, the heron was not a heron at all, but rather boots of a dead man. The man's identity was never released, and the cause of death was unknown. But imagine going for a leisurely walk on Thanksgiving and you find a dead body. That's a chilling event you will never forget.
Sure is. That'd be crazy. First thing that comes to mind is Paper Towns.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen that movie?
I have. A long time ago. I actually haven't rewatched it in my recent years.
Good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. But it starts with...
I do love Nat Wolff, though. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, when they're kids, Cara Delevingne's character and Nat Wolff's character, when they're kids, they are biking and they find a dead body. And that's kind of what turns... What's her name? Margot? That's what turns Margot into like this crazy... like leaving clues and shit. And so it's like them finding the body. It was like a big deal to her more than it was to him. And so it was, I don't know, interesting thing. Yeah. Finding a body. Hasn't happened to me, thankfully, but that's gotta be a weird thing.
Oh, completely. Well, it's just like,
we might have seen somebody die on St. Patrick's Day.
I think we might have.
I think she was dead. I genuinely do.
Scary, scary night.
We walked out. So first of all, St. Patrick's Day in Denver, not a good idea.
Not for us. Not for us.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Not for me. No, but for real, we walked. Jesus. We walked out of this bar. There's puke everywhere, and it's it's disgusting. And then, like, I get it, right? Like, there's drinking, but then there's also like absolutely disgusting drinking, and that was every bar that we were walking by. Dude, we'd have to like step over, throw up, and yeah. So, we walk out of this one bar and there's a girl literally laying on the ground. People are scattered around. The paramedic is checking her pulse. Her eyes are looking up into the sky, like not even
very unresponsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a weird feeling.
That was
after that
crazy.
We were just like, let's go
we were like,
home.
we're gonna go home. We're done.
Yeah.
We'll just have a party next year.
It's really, really weird. Like, I can't imagine just like walking, seeing something. You go, oh, look at this bird.
Yeah.
And then it's just a
like,
dead
whoa.
body. What do you're in shock.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're in the wilderness. You can't really call for anybody.
Yeah, I know.
Like, maybe you just have to kind of give them some sort of general direction after you find it. But, like,
it's weird, man.
Yeah.
All right, you got one more for me?
I sure do.
Okay. Jake's going to go, and then I got the last one.
Thanksgiving 2002. Joe and Eva Britt had a holiday gathering at their home in Tacoma, Washington. The party had around 25 people there, each one enjoying the good food and even better company. But at some point during this event, bullets were fired through the curtain of a covered window. Sadly, a 9-year-old Kimberly Riley and a 5-year-old Jeremy Britt Bangthavong were killed because of this. 2 other individuals were shot, but survived. As for the shooter, witnesses saw a dark-haired man running to the truck before peeling out, never to be seen again. There was no lead as to who fired those shots, and authorities could never find a motive as to why it happened in the first place.
Jeez.
People are just on the run, man.
It's wild, dude.
These unsolved things are just baffling.
Well, it's also quite alarming because the amount of people who get away now, it's obviously a lot harder to do that.
Yeah, that was back in the early 2000s.
How many people do you think you've walked by on the street and they're these people?
Oh, I know.
That could be it. That could be that's something that could be happening.
And here we go again with you never know what your neighbor is doing.
You could meet like the nice old man on the park bench and all. You don't know. Maybe he did that.
Right?
The hell? Like, you never know. Oh, it's crazy, dude.
It is, yeah.
It's wild stuff.
Life is crazy when you really think about it.
Yeah, it is for real.
Wow, dude. Yeah. It's so sad because, like, these people just get hurt for just really no reason at all.
Yeah, and I it sucks, dude.
Especially being that young, too.
Yeah. That's, yeah. I don't know. Okay, I got one more story for you guys, and then we'll
really
wrap
killed
this
the mood here.
I know. Yeah, we started light, and that one went down too.
Well, now we're out 2 lights.
Sorry, guys, but enjoy the maple leaf lights; those are cool, and the turkey. Yeah. So gobble gobble, bitch. Okay,
they will be fixed next episode.
So for our final story, we're actually going to go all the way back to 1919.
Wow, way back.
This is actually known as the oldest unsolved case that occurred on Thanksgiving Day. So kind of a crazy little...
The oldest
Thanksgiving case. Well, unsolved case, yeah. So this happened in upstate New York. John Woodruff was a game protector for the local county. For those who don't know, a game protector patrols areas and makes sure that people aren't hunting when they shouldn't be. They basically care for game and wildlife and make sure there is no illegal hunting going on. Well, John spent his Thanksgiving enjoying time at home before deciding to patrol a nearby forested area. Witnesses say they saw John meet up with another man on the boundary of the forest before heading into the timber. That was the last time John was seen alive. His wife notified authorities that John received a threatening letter in the mail earlier that year, but John didn't let her read it and he destroyed it in the fireplace. John was also seen arguing with a man with a similar description as the one he entered the timber with that same day. John's body was found in a shallow grave 2 years later, his skull destroyed by what police believe to be an axe. With no clues as to what the man or who the man that accompanied John was in the forest, the case has never been solved and has remained open for over a century.
Wow.
This case interested me. The reason being because
we walked through the timber?
No. It seems that John might have had some other stuff going on.
Okay. Mentally?
No. So after some digging, I actually found that a bunch of people have their own theories on this case. The most likely theory that a lot of people can agree on is that John was somehow involved with the mob. The mafia was big in New York at the time. Sure, he was upstate, but that doesn't mean they didn't have dirt on him or something like that. Maybe he carried out tasks for them. Who knows?
So you think they put a hit on him and, the mob being the mob?
Maybe he wanted out. Maybe he didn't pay in time. Maybe whatever.
A bunch of reasons. Yeah.
So that's the big theory. The other theory I found that made any kind of sense was that the man that John saw going into the woods with was a man that he was actually having an affair with. The theory states that John and this man were secret lovers, but due to the time and due to the time, like being 1919, and John having a wife of his own, John pulled back, causing the other man to lose his mind and end up killing John, making this a crime of passion. Either way, we'll likely never know what happened that day. So,
wow,
that's it.
Yeah, I honestly thought you were going to go in somewhere else with the timber thought, but just because we'd be walking through it in Iowa.
No.
That's crazy. Interesting theories, though. Yeah, I could definitely see the mob thing because, like, back then, they did what they had to do, and they're like, "Yo, Johnny, go clean up this mess," and he does.
Yeah,
and boom.
It's true,
and it's really unfortunate that potentially that could have happened to this guy.
Yeah, I do think that's the likeliest theory, to be honest, but I do think the other one, it didn't make like it wasn't a bad theory.
No, not at all.
Sent a letter and he burned it without his wife seeing it. Granted, that could be the mafia thing, but like maybe he's like, "Hey, dump her ass."
Right. And he's like, I can't.
Yeah. And so then he doesn't want her to know. And then maybe they go out into the forest thinking, "Oh, well, we'll just talk this out." And the other guy goes, "No, we're not." And then, so who knows? I don't know, but we'll let you decide.
Yep. Of course we will.
Anyway.
Mood is down. Spirits are up, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting to talk about there's just some crazy shit that it doesn't matter what day it is. Like, that's something I've realized is
crazy shit happens every day,
every single day.
Every day.
And that's what I'm saying is, I don't know. Maybe I thought when I was a kid that like the holidays were a safe time.
Yeah.
Right. You think, oh, it's a time of peace and a time of, and while that is probably true, a lot of people are less angry. Maybe they're more angry. I don't know. But regardless, it seems to be a sense of nostalgia. It just seems like a safe place.
But I think that's what makes movies around these times interesting if done right, because of that exact reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you think it's a safe time. You're like, it's Christmas, right? Like nobody, or it's Thanksgiving. Nobody's going to come in and do this. Right. And then, it happens. And then that's it.
And now those people or characters, now real people, have a very tainted holiday.
Exactly. Yeah. Every time that time of year rolls around, I actually think Prisoners happened on Thanksgiving. Now that I think about it. They all came over for like dinner and stuff. Remember? I think it was Thanksgiving.
It might have.
Yeah, that actually. Okay. Well, I have a task for you guys. Go watch Prisoners for your Thanksgiving movie. Yes. F a Thanksgiving, bro. Sorry, Eli Roth. I need you to go watch Denis Villeneuve's fucking Prisoners movie. He's such a good director, man. He did the Dune movies. He did Blade Runner 2049, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
The Dune movies are fantastically shot.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
I have not.
Okay, well, I know what he's going to do tonight. So anyway.
Well, yeah, guys, it's been fun. This is our Thanksgiving special. We got another one coming up soon. So
we have two.
Well, I'm just talking the next one. It's coming up soon.
We do have two.
Oh, shit. We have two coming up. Yeah, yes. Stay tuned for those. Those are going to be very exciting.
Well, we can say it. I mean, we have a holiday special.
Sure do.
Which is cool. It's kind of a similar vibe with this, except we're going to dive into the legend of Krampus, which is cool. And then we're going to talk about some more unsolved mysteries that occurred on Christmas because we want to talk about it.
And we have a very, very special episode planned for the hype of the newest movie coming out here soon. Yes. That is a new movie called Nosferatu.
Yes. It's a remake of an old movie.
It is a remake. But it is new. It's new of the times, you know, new technology and everything. But it is a remake of the very old one. And we got some special planned for all you video viewers out there.
So you video viewers.
Even the audio listeners. We still have a couple surprises for you there. But if you get the chance, you should definitely check out the video.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be fun. So, all right, guys. Happy Thanksgiving from the Supernaturals. We're your hosts, Jake and Cal. And it's been fun. We'll see you guys in like a month.
Yep.
With 2 episodes.
True.
2.
So get stoked.
Yep. Also follow the TikTok for Flick Fridays if that interests you at all.
Follow our Instagram for some behind the scenes and fun pics.
And then YouTube, obviously. And if you want to see more behind the scenes content of our trips that we're about to take, season 2 behind the scenes, kind of the making of season 2.
Careful.
Ow. Fuck. Hurt. Anyway. Yeah. It blasted my eardrum. Anyway. Follow our Patreon.
Oh yeah.
So
it's going to be really exciting. We're going to have a lot of behind the scenes on our trip. So
also these hoodies are going to be available super soon.
True.
Trying to figure it out.
Crew necks they're really hot right now. All our friends and family are like, when can we get one?
Yes. Crew necks are going to go.
We're working on it. We know we said we have merch. We're just trying to figure out what the best way to get it to people is. And
we also want more merch too before we do like a big drop.
Yep. So
I want to do sweats.
We do kind of want a line, basically.
I want sweatpants.
So stay tuned for that and if you follow us on Instagram, you'll probably be the first to know.
Yes. We will be doing a giveaway for one of the hoodies. So stay tuned for that. And
So, thanks guys. We'll see you around the graveyard.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for listening to this chilling episode of The Supernaturals. For your protection, make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And stay tuned for the next episode.